Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to this channel. Today I'm talking about bumpy roads, Roman roads, and destinations. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So in a conversation with the emissaries, I was asking, how are things going? And they said, beautifully, beautifully. We are bumping along. And I said, well, tell me about those bumps. And they said, well, we can all feel the bumps in the road at the moment. This is a very road-oriented chat from the emissaries. So what's going on in the world? We've got Ireland kicking off, and rightly so. We've got the Netherlands completely changing political route and starting to take actions that they've never taken. We've got Argentina, who has a new president who is going to instantly, within 21 days, closing down those ministries that want equality of everything and all of that, or inclusion, all of that, just closing them down. Okay, we've got here in Spain people still going out to the streets, still now, every single night, people in Madrid protesting. So what's going on? Well, what's going on is people are waking up. People are waking up at speed. And we've talked before, about thresholds. Like every country, every culture has its threshold, like this far and no further. Ireland has been pushed over the threshold, but it was already boiling. The people were already boiling. They were already extremely uncomfortable, and obviously, that's what creates the Great Awakening. There must be extreme discomfort. The people in the Netherlands were clearly extremely uncomfortable with the situation, and hence the guy who won like in a big way. The guy in Argentina's had a socialist government for like 2 terms. Disaster. Inflation at 127% or something like that. People are tired and sick. And so, they've got somebody who's a radical, okay? And I'm going to talk all about that in another video, about what's really going on. What I think, anyway. Anyway, so we've got all of these things going. And the emissary said, this is just, another stepping stone to lead us to what they referred to, and I apologise. If you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I apologise for these 3 words, because you'll have heard them before. They said, all it's doing is helping us to move toward the new system. Okay? Now, the witnesses have used that for years, the new system. What's it going to be like in the new system? And you know what's ironic about the Jehovah's Witnesses? In many respects, they weren't wrong. They haven't been wrong in many respects about the fact that this is coming to an end. But loads of people have said it, not just the witnesses, but obviously it's pertinent to me because I grew up with that, listening to all of that cultish language, and now I'm using it. There's irony for you. But this new system that's coming, and it's going to be a new, the whole system has to change. There's nothing culty about it. The system is fucked and it's got to change. And so therefore we need a new system. So I asked the emissaries, I said, is that new plan, that new system, is it already created? Is it already planned? And they said yes and no. Yes and no. What they said was, and this was interesting, they said, this new way, let's call it that, the new way, won't need to be created. And what they said was that it won't need to be created in the way that we think. Lots of us are like, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? Somebody has to sort something out. What they said was the new system will develop based on our expectations, based on what we want. So it will kind of evolve and develop automatically, just because that's what everybody wants. So we don't have to worry too much about, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It's going to happen. Why? Because we're creators. All we need to do is collectively want something to happen, and it will happen. But what do we have to want? We have to want the destination. We have to be clear about what our destination is, and I'll add something to that. So the emissaries were using road analogies, okay? Bumpy, they started off with the roads a bit bumpy, and then they said this: think about the difference between a standard road and a Roman road, okay? What they said was that a standard road, when they're making a standard road, it has to kind of bow to the topography of the land, you know, where there's a mountain, they have to, you know, go around it and stuff like that. But Roman roads never did that. Roman roads were just completely straight. They were built with the destination in mind. We're going to go there, and therefore we're going to head straight for that. No bends, no twirly bits, no roundabouts, just straight road. And it's for that reason that I think that they stopped at Hadrian's Wall, you know, that bit, Northumberland. They didn't go beyond that. Why? Because it gets very mountainous up there, and their straight roads would have been very difficult. They would be like that, going over the highlands. Very difficult. They probably just thought, look, just stay here, where it's flat. It's good enough. We don't want to go any further. So the point of this analogy is that when we collectively decide on the destination, the road will be built, the straight road to that. It'll just be clear, the pathway. Now, there will be people who will be involved in that, but it will be of our creation. We will make that happen by just wanting it. That's all. That's all we have to want to. And that's why it's so important for all of us to be very clear on a general. You know, when you're manifesting in this life, they say, don't be too specific. Like, don't be, you know, I want a Ford Mustang, and it's got to be blue, and it's got to have silver wheels, and too specific. Okay? So it's the same with us. Our destination, what do we want? Where do we want to go to? Well, we want to go to a beautiful life of happiness and bliss and fulfillment. I think that's general enough. We don't need to go into the specifics of it. You know, we don't say, and our leaders must be blonde with blue eyes. No. And there will be leaders. There will be leaders, for sure. Certainly at the beginning, because we need them. But afterwards, I don't know. So what else they said was this. Although the road's straight to the destination, and we will create that road just by wanting it, wanting the destination, they said that as time progresses, our destination will change. And this is very classic, isn't it? Where when we get something, we think, actually, that hasn't quite worked out how we wanted. So we need to rethink. And so our journey is going to be lots of straight roads, but going in different directions based on our understanding, based on our learning, based on what we know. However, what they're saying is we don't need to worry about the doing. You know, I had a lovely chat with a gentleman who had mapped out a general plan for how we could get to the next stage. And it was quite detailed. They're there. People are doing this. But what's actually going to make it happen? No amount of plans are going to change anything. What's actually going to make it happen is our desire for it to be realized, for us to bring it into reality. And that's our only job. That's our job. Bring it into reality. And we're getting there. We're getting there. We are more and more and more and more and more. And it's unstoppable. And that's why they're trying to stop it. And I'm going to come to that in the next video. They are desperately trying to stop this. They're shitting themselves. They really are. They are shitting themselves, and they're getting a bit desperate. And it's getting a bit obvious. Anyway, I'll tell you all about it in the next video. I love you all. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.